Hi, I'm Monika Kristofferson with Efficient Organization, and today I'm talking again about focus. So this is a three-part series. The first thing I talked about with focus recently was about having structure and organization in your workspace so that you can find what you need, you feel calmer in your space, you don't feel distracted by stuff all over the place. So we're going to talk about my second strategy. So I'm going to pull up a little screen share here. And we're going to talk about prioritizing today. So you've got projects, you've got things on your list, you've got tasks that need to be created. So how do you prioritize so that you know what you should work on next? So first thing I want you to think about is not just diving right in. So you might have things that are on your desk, lists that you have, or you might just start looking around and grabbing things. I'll work on this, I'll work on that. And you don't have a plan. So I want you to just maybe feel like it's a little counterintuitive, and that's okay. Taking the breath, slowing down, taking a few minutes to do some planning. So let's look at that. Proper planning. 1 minute of planning can save 10 minutes in execution. So what that can look like is just sitting down, planning, prioritizing, taking 10 to 12 minutes could actually save you up to 2 hours. So that's huge, right? Taking a little time up front to plan and prioritize and work with focus instead of working here and there and jumping all around will save you a lot of time in the big picture of things. So it's worth it to slow down, take a breath, do your planning. So the biggest lie I tell myself is I don't need to write that down. I'll remember it. Writing things down is really important. We've got a lot going on in our heads. We've got a lot floating around. We have a lot of things coming at us through phone and email, texting, people walking into our spaces, whatever it might look like. So I want you to think about a to-do list versus a critical task, because usually we just say, oh, I'll write it on a to-do list. So what do these look like? A to-do list is something that you could look at your schedule in the evening for the next day and go, all right, what can I accomplish tomorrow? And I'm going to write those things down. If you have this huge to-do list that just goes on, and you feel like you can never get to the bottom of it, create a master list, whether it's on a yellow legal sheet, whether it's a app, whether it's a Word document, whether it's just, a piece of paper and a pen, but get things out of your head so that you can relax a little bit about it. And that's your master list. So you can pull from that. And when you're doing your planning, create more of a daily list for the next day, a stubby to-do list, something that's reasonable and manageable and will give you the feelings of accomplishment because you have planned and it is manageable that you can actually start crossing things off of your list. A huge thing to think about is estimating the amount of time you think each task will take. You're giving it your best guess. Is this going to be a 10-minute project or a 3-hour project today? That will really help you know how much can be on your list. And you've always got to think about the unexpected coming up, things going sideways, maybe having to go learn something or look something up in order to take care of the next step, things that might make things that you're working on take a little longer than you anticipate. So you're just giving it your best guess so you can try to be as realistic as possible about what you can get done in a day. A critical task is something that you don't just put on a to-do list, because a to-do list is a list that has tasks that if you didn't get them all done and you had to push something off to another day, it's not critical. Everything will be okay. You can work on it again the next day. A critical task should be on your calendar like an appointment. It is critical. It might have a deadline, a due date, a financial consequence, and you want to make sure that that gets done because you've scheduled time for it. When you're prioritizing, something else to think about, of course, is the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle that we get 80% of our results from 20% of our activities. So there's usually a certain amount of activities that we should really be focusing on because we're going to get the most bang for our buck for spending our time on those activities. So focus on your top 20% when you can. Something else to think about for prioritizing are these 4 keys when you're thinking about if you should be working on something or not. Thinking about what the impact is for doing this, how much time it's going to take you to do this, how difficult this task is going to be, and what is it going to cost you. So Let's look at an example. Here, this lady is making a phone call for her business. The impact could be big. She could make money from this phone call. She could be scheduling a client. She could be selling a product. How much time is it going to take to talk on the phone? Probably not a really long time. So it's probably minimal. Is it difficult? Well, it's actually easy to pick up the phone. Now, it might feel difficult if you don't like to talk on the phone, if you're introverted, but really any of us can pick up a phone, dial the number, and make that call. So technically, it's not difficult. And then what's the cost? It's probably free to make that phone call. So calling the clients, trying to make the sale, those could be high impact things that are worth the time. Doesn't take that long, difficult, not that hard, and it's free, but it could cost or could make you money, not cost you money. Hopefully it's making you money by making that call. Also, when you're prioritizing, thinking about your revenue line. Is this activity up near the revenue line? Is it generating revenue? So in that case, if she's making the call and makes a sale, schedules an appointment, that she's generating revenue. Is it something that's creating a product or delivering a service? Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're creating some great product for whatever it is that you do. Or is it saving the company money? Maybe you're doing some research to get a better price on something that you use. So is it close to the revenue line? So generating revenue for a business owner could be that you're creating an ad on social media, and that's going to help you bring in customers or sell your product. It could be that you're delivering a service, you're scheduling client appointments that you're going to be paid for. It could be saving money as far as you're looking at different insurance prices and trying to save money on your overhead. Okay, so I want you to think about, maybe jot it down, what are your revenue generating activities? What will bring in money for you? Where should you be putting your focus? So I'd love to have you put in the comments below something that you work on that you know is at the top 20%. And I hope those are helpful tips. I do help clients with residential and business organizing as well as productivity issues. And I hope you have a great day.